Hello guys, welcome back to another video here on Our Eyes Your Eyes. Yesterday, as you all know, I went to watch the last movie of Demon Slayer called Mugen Train, that means Infinity Train. And of course, I'm here to tell you all my opinions and thoughts as I was promising you the previous weeks. But before starting this video, I just wanted to remind you to subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell and follow me because later in the future, other reviews of other anime are coming. And also because if the season 2 of Demon Slayer will come out, it's for sure, I will be here reacting to all episodes. As for Violet Evergarden, I wanted to start by telling you that at the cinema they gave us this directly from Jump Comics. Here we are, okay. They gave us the first chapter, or chapter 0, we still have to understand it, of the story of Rengoku, because as you all know, after the Demon Slayers manga finished, they decided to publish even the Rengoku spin-off. So as you all see, here inside, look, there is the Rengoku story. Probably I'm going to have another video in which I will show you each page, so you will understand what's inside here. Look, that's quite amazing. Okay, and after this tiny chapter, okay, let's say that is just chapter 0 from what I understand here, there are also different information regarding Demon Slayer in general, and there is the entire explanation of each character. See, here there is a Tanjiro, then there is Nezuko, etc, etc. Look, I'm going to have another video just for this. In fact, it's written not for sale because this is a unique piece. You can't sell it, and we found it in Japan only. I mean, when you will go to the cinema, you will not be able to find it. So sorry for this, of course. Plus, they gave us also this super cute drawing here. Look, see? These are the main characters, and on the other side, another tiny and cute drawing. I really like this. Look, they are so great, so cute, and even kids, they like this type of drawings. So I think this was for all. I will tell you another thing. I was so surprised because our screen room was one of the biggest, and it was full of people of different ages. You could find tiny kids, you could find teenagers, you could find adults, but you could find even old people. That was amazing. From this point, you understand that anime are not only for kids. And I really appreciated to see this. You know that my mother is watching anime, and you know that she got lots of compliments. Thank you so much for the support. And she's going to watch Demon Slayer too. So stay tuned and keep on watching us in this case. What I saw, it was, it's not my mother only, it's not few people only. Also, all the people love anime. So we have to stop thinking about this stereotype that anime are for kids only, because this is a fake news. Now I'm going to tell you how this video will work, so you will understand what you're going to watch. At the beginning, I'm going to summarize through the analysis of some of the most important scenes of the movie. By doing this, I wanted to underline what was the most important points, what was important to me, what I felt, etc, etc, scene after scene, as I did for Violet Evergarden. At the end of this long video, because I think it will be long, I will take my personal considerations regarding each character, and I will describe them as for what I felt, as for what I watched, because I want you to understand what's my final portrait of each character. So the movie opens with the boss of Hashira, the papa of Hashira, let's call him like this, talking with one of his assistants. She was carrying the boss. They were walking in a graveyard. This boss was talking, and he was saying, look at how many people died. By saying this, he was naming all the people who were dead. Probably, in my opinion, those people were all Hashira, and they were all slayers, I mean, whole fighters who fought demons. but they couldn't make it. Or after they killed the demon, they died. So huge and important people over there, in my opinion. Look, I say in my opinion because for those who don't know, I am an anime only, so I don't read the manga, I don't know what's going on in the future, I didn't know what was happening in the movie too, so these are my opinions and thoughts from what I saw. Then it starts. Look, it was written ufotable, I was about to scream, but it was better not to do it because I think I was the only one who was a foreigner over there, so it was better not to do any extra reaction, you know what I mean. We start from the last scenes of season 1 in which Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Inosuke and Nezuko are going inside this Mugen train, this infinity train. Tanjiro then is opening the door and is trying to find Rengoku because as you all know, he had this mission. He had to follow Rengoku. Inosuke and Zenitsu, that they didn't have this great chance to meet him before or to talk to him before, they ask Tanjiro, but how is Rengoku? Do you know him? And he says, yeah, of course, I remember him a little bit, so it will not be so difficult to find him. As soon as we start this movie, we see Tanjiro's kindness because he's trying to help elder people to carry some heavy baggages or to help them to put these baggages on top of each train seats and stuff like that. I mean, we saw Tanjiro as we always know. I think this was the first side of Tanjiro that we all know and that we all appreciate. So it was quite beautiful to start like this. Okay, then they find Rengoku, and in that specific moment, I have to say that Rengoku is so funny. I mean, he likes to make other people laugh a lot. That was my impression. And in fact, I laughed so hard in those first scenes because he was eating a lot and he was saying umai, 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 like in the trailer, right? Tanjiro himself, he said, okay, we understood that it is delicious, come on. I mean, say something different, right? In that moment, it was really, really awesome to see this side of his personality, and later we will go deeper, so we will understand Rengoku more and why, in my opinion, he is behaving like this. Then there is one important moment, the moment we all waited, especially if you are anime only. Tanjiro, look, I'm here also because I wanted to ask you if you know something regarding the Hinokami Kagura. I mean, this fire dance that my father was making many years ago. And Rengoku is replying in such a funny way because he said, oh, okay, he was dancing, good for him. I mean, that was hilarious. Unexpectedly, he said, no, I don't know anything about it. So, I mean, from episode 19, we wanted to know a lot about this Hinokami Kagura. Then we know that Rengoku, he is a flame Hashira, so we thought, okay, probably there is a connection of flame with a fire, and it will be easy, it would be nice to understand something in particular, or maybe Rengoku knows some details we don't know, so can't wait to have this meeting with Rengoku. In 3 seconds, he said, wakaranai, so problem ended. But then Rengoku turns suddenly his personality and he's saying, look, I'm here because we have to defeat some demons. And Zenitsu, as soon as he heard this thing, he started crying, he started complaining, I wanted to get off this train, etc, etc. So, as always, you know Zenitsu, how he is. You understand that something is happening. I don't know how to say it, but in this movie, you have the feeling of pressure. You have this feeling of anxiety, this atmosphere that is really greatly represented. I was shaking sometimes because it was as if I was in the middle of a horror movie, and I love horror movies, so for me it was not so difficult to get in touch with this atmosphere. But yeah, it was quite exciting, but at the same time I felt so anxious, so I didn't know what to expect. There is one moment in particular, and I want to remark this, because I think that's the starting point of this movie. Rengoku, of course, he is praised by Tanjiro, by Zenitsu, by Inosuke, because he's showing them how kakkoi he is, how fantastic, admirable person he is in front of them, because he is the Hashira. And especially when he's defeating the first demon that is coming, I felt astonished, because the way he manages the katana, the way he is posing, the way he is looking with these beautiful eyes, you understand from his movements, from the way he is defeating the demons. And let me tell you, Ufotable, thank you so much, because the techniques, the animation, the motions, the graphic itself was simply 100% well done. So thank you so much for all the beautiful things we saw in this movie. But anyway, when Rengoku was defeating the first demon, the first Oni, he impressed the others, because he is an Ashira, so he is different. He is definitely stronger than them, and it's like as if they were idolizing him. In fact, all three, they were, oh my god, that's so cute, oh my god, you are so great. But later, this beautiful moment of excitement towards Rengoku, this slow motion scene in which you see these protagonists who are so happy, who are surrounding Rengoku, and it seems like a family portrait, okay? Zeitz, Tanjiro, and Inosuke, they are calling him Aniki, and in Japanese you call Aniki when you are trusting a person so much, even if it's not your older brother blood related. This scene was so beautiful. It's in slow motion, and you will understand why it's so important at the end of the movie. But that scene, when they put the slow motion, it's indicating, okay, that's a sort of a peaceful moment. That's something that can be broken. Wrong. Because the second after, the light is turning off. But before that scene, the ticket controller of the train is coming inside. And why I said that that scene was memorable and it's a starting point is because the controller is asking the tickets. Do you have the tickets for this trip? But he's asking it with a strange voice. So you understand that something is happening or is about to happen really, really soon. The controller is marking this ticket because it means you are on the train. It seems that they are condemning their own life. It seems that the journey is starting now. In fact, in that specific moment, the light was turning off, and then the first Oni came, Rengoku defeated him, and then there was that peaceful scene. Do you understand? I mean, there is a dark moment, then there is a light moment, and then there is another dark moment. So it seems life portrayed in a few seconds. Yeah, why the ticket is important is that because you will understand throughout the movie that what they did was a complete journey of emotions, a journey of feelings, a journey of heart, a journey of dreams. Because that's the main theme of this movie. Mugen Train, the Infinity Train, is based on the dreams they are going to live. On the other side of the train we find the lower one, that is this Oni. I call it Oni because demon, as we analyzed many times, is not the perfect translation, but anyway, Oni, you understand this, okay? And over there with him there are 4 kids who are intimidated by this lower one. He is asking them to go to these 4 people, to find them, to connect, in this case, with the rope, the 2 bodies, so they can go deep inside their dreams in order to reach the core of their soul. Later I'm going to explain you better what does this mean, but for the moment follow me, okay? As you can see, these kids are not healthy, or they have other reasons why they have to do this, and that's why they are intimidated so easily by the Oni. One of them, he is sick and he has to die. He was attracted by this idea, and that's what Oni do. That's what demons do in this case. They try to temptate. They try to steal a part of your soul, and they try to obtain what they want by giving you something you want or something you desire. And that's what's happening actually in this movie. In this moment, the Oni lower one started his plan, his project. That means to make them dream what they want, what they need, what they desire, what they regret, what makes them happy, what makes them satisfied. I mean, everything. Because one of the most important things here in this movie is the dream. As I told you even in the trailer, the dream is one of the most analyzed and used themes ever. No matter if it's literature, no matter if it's anime, no matter if it's novels, no matter if it's narratives, it's always used. And it's quite important, quite analyzed by so many experts. Even Freud was analyzing dreams, right? This specific moment in which the Oni is make them dream, and they dream what they want, they dream what they regret, they dream what they desire, etc, etc, etc. It reminded me of the Mugen Tsukuyomi, the Infinity Tsukuyomi in Naruto, because it has the same procedure, actually. You are dreaming something and at the same time you become weaker. And thanks to this weakness you have, the Oni can defeat you easily. That's what happened in Naruto as well with the Kaguya. The Mugen Tsukuyomi was to make other people dream what they wanted, to create a parallel life. And at the same time, Kaguya on top was manipulating all of them, faking to live in a world that was not true. It was just an illusion. So the themes of dreams, the themes of illusions, the themes of utopia, these themes are amazing, and I always loved them. But yeah, you can find some parallelisms with other anime. And I think this is really good because you see that the theme is always the same, the story is always the same, but with the different feelings. And that's really important, that's really amazing. So the first dream analyzed, of course, is that one of Rengoku. He should be strong, he should be somebody who is invincible, because that's what he is showing to people. He is funny, okay? But you see that he has a, as I told you, kakoi personality outside. So you never imagine that behind there is a total opposite world. In fact, Rengoku is dreaming to stay in front of his father. He is hoping that his father is approving him as a strong person. In fact, he was so excited to tell him, Papa, I became a Hashira. What do you think? Are you proud of me? Are you satisfied? Are you happy? What do you feel? I can't wait for your answer. You know, that's the common thing all kids feel, because when they do their homework or they get great marks or they do something special for them, they hope that even the parents feel proud. I think all of us can feel what Rengoku felt. But the father said, I don't care. I mean, you became Hashira, good for you. I don't mind. His father was a Hashira too, but suddenly he decided to stop. We don't know why, actually. He was lying on this tatami room, and he was giving his back to Rengoku. I mean, he was not facing him, he was not looking at him, as if he didn't really care 100%. He is meeting his younger brother, because Rengoku has other brothers. This younger brother is asking him, Dodata, I mean, how was it? Tell me, was he happy about it? Did he approve it? Rengoku said the truth. I liked him also in this case because he doesn't want to say lies. The way he was honest, the way he was sincere, he said no, he didn't care. He didn't care about me becoming Hashira. He didn't approve it. He was not happy at all. So the younger brother started crying, but at the same time, Rengoku stopped him and he said, don't cry. You are luckier than me because you have me. And I will always support you. I will always believe in you. So please, don't stop. Gambatte ne. It's always nice to have somebody next to us, supporting us in what we do, loving us for what we do, and appreciate us for what we do. So I think Rengoku was the perfect older brother, but also the perfect papa somehow. The papa that also the other brothers didn't have. That's why they were luckier. And that's why he preferred to sacrifice his feelings in order to push others. That's amazing. He is stimulating other people's inner strength, and that's great. This dream goes on and on and on. And at the same time, we see that thanks to the rope I told you, surrounding the arm of each of the 4 children I told you before, one of the kids, a girl, could enter in the dream of Rengoku. The mission of these children was to go inside this dream as a sort of a first layer of our inner self. And the next step for this girl is to cut a specific part, a specific area of this dream in order to get deeper inside one person's heart. And once she reaches that stage, the next step is to reach the core of their mind, the core of their soul, in order to kill them. That was the main goal of the Oni lower one. By using, of course, the kids. So I personally love psychology, and the fact that I saw that even this mangaka chose to analyze the psychology of her characters, it's quite amazing. By using our inner self as layers, as containers of something smaller but something unique, something really special that is our soul, our core, our deep soul. That was good to see. Why I say this is because each of us have different layers, different shields, right? We have the most superficial one that is easily judged, that everybody can understand or everybody can see. And the more you go deeper inside, it's becoming smaller, but full of something else, full of feelings, full of us. And that was a great representation of this, because dreams are just the last layer. What's creating the dream is the most important part, but usually we stop here. We don't see this procedure, we don't see the steps starting from here till here. How does it get? How can we move from one step to the other in order to reach this last layer? I really appreciate what the mangaka did, and I really appreciate how they animate all this. This girl could scratch this first layer and go inside this second layer. And in this second layer, she feels suffocating. She can't even breathe because she's surrounded by fire. And that's the representation of the deepest part of the heart of Rengoku. He is full of fire. And probably that fire represents how sad he was throughout all those years, how alone he was throughout all those years, how he had to do everything alone by himself to praise somebody else who didn't want to recognize him and his power, his strength. That, sorry that I opened the bracket of Naruto once again, it reminds me of Itachi, Sasuke. I mean, there was a moment in Naruto in which Itachi was not recognized so much and he was a little bit left aside. The father decided to praise more Sasuke instead of him. I had that same feeling. But anyway, close the bracket. The girl is finding the core. I mean, she is almost next to the core, and this core is all red, orange. I mean, the typical colors of fire, right? She is about to scratch it. I mean, she is about to hit it. When suddenly Rengoku, from the outside of this dream, he's feeling it. He is feeling that something is wrong. He is a Hashira. Of course, he is strong. You can't defeat Rengoku so easily. He suddenly stood up from outside the dream and he is choking her. I have to say, so fast. That was a great scene too. And that means nobody can touch the core of my soul. Nobody can reach it, stop it. And that was good. Good to watch for sure. Then we move to the Tanjiro's dream. Tanjiro's dream is so emotional. Tanjiro's dream is realistic, and it's quite painful for him because he wakes up in this dream and he is next to his house. The strange thing is that Even his hairstyle changed, as if we are in episode 1 of season 1. Suddenly he hears the voices of his brothers and he is petrified because he can't believe that he is still over there. Let me tell you one thing, I think he doesn't understand if it's a dream or not immediately, because he's confused. I mean, as if nothing happened till that moment. He is surrounded by love, and he is surrounded by all these brothers and sisters who want him to play with them, who wanted to join him, who wanted to stay with him. At the same time, it was really painful because we know how it was in reality. We know how it ended in the real world. So Tanjiro feels a little bit heavy inside. At the same time, we see that he's enjoying because he can't believe that what happened really happened. He is doing his regular life. There is his mother, his brothers, his sisters, and nothing wrong till that moment. In the meantime, in the dream, there is also another one of these kids who went inside of the dreams thanks to lower one, and he is waiting the moment to scratch the first layer of the dream in order to reach the real side of his heart. Suddenly Tanjiro, he is thinking, where is Nezuko? He's cutting some trunk of trees because he has to prepare the fire, because his mother has to cook, etc, etc. And he's turning, because usually he's carrying the Nezuko's box, right? And he's saying, Nezuko, really soon we go, or something like that. But then he's stopping and he's saying, why did I say that? So that's the first hint for him to understand that that's different. I mean, we are in a sort of a parallel world and he has to realize that. Another thing is that he has to prepare ofuro. I mean, he has to prepare the bathtub and he has to go to get some water. And when he's going, while he's walking, he's seeing for a few seconds the Nezuko's box over there in the middle of the snow. And he's stopping and he said, why did I see that? Then he's reaching the bridge where he can take the water from the river. And when he goes down a little bit more, he is facing his own self, Tanjiro of the other world. And that Tanjiro of the other world is saying, look, you are sleeping, wake up, you have to defeat the demon, the Oni, wake up. It's like a sort of a self-consciousness that is talking to you when you're making a mistake or when you are doing something wrong or when you're doubting. There is usually another side of our consciousness, as if we have here an angel and here a demon, right? And they're talking to us and suggesting us, look, you're doing something good. Are you sure? Are you going something good? Something like that. And Tanjiro is falling in the water and he's meeting inside the water his own self, as if he is drowning. That image was really amazing because it's symbology that when you are inside a dream, it's like as if you can't hear the external world. You are in a parallel world and it's really hard for you to get all the things that are real. You are under a dream, as if you are underwater. You can't hear, you can't see what's outside, and it's difficult to come out from it until you wake up. But if you want to wake up, it's different from I woke up. Do you know what I mean? Tanjiro realizes that what he is doing is wrong, because that's not reality. That's what he likes to see. That's what he regrets, because he regrets that he couldn't come back home in time and he couldn't save his family. He realizes that yes, it's too painful, but he has to go back to reality. And sorry, I get emotional because this moment was definitely emotional. In his mind, he was saying, I'm sorry, I can't. As if he was refusing his own desires, as if he was realizing that's a dream and I have to go away from it. It's better to detach myself from my desires, from my personal will, and he decides to run away from his family. And while he's running, suddenly he's hearing Nezuko's voice from behind him. When he heard her voice after so long time, because we know Nezuko doesn't talk, and I was so surprised to hear her talking, he was petrified. He couldn't say anything. He was just crying. Nezuko was asking him in this dream, why are you crying? What's wrong? As if everything was so normal. Do you understand? As if it was a real dream, but it was still a dream. And then all the other family members are reaching him because they were running in order to reach him. But then Tanjiro didn't want to look at them. It was quite sad, and in that moment, guys, I start crying a lot. And in the background, they put Tanjiro no Uta. You know what I mean, okay? For those who don't know, it's the same music of episode 19. Okay, perfect. One of the saddest moments I felt in the movie, because you would like to turn and you would like to go and hug them. You would like to turn and you would like to feel them again, hug them and see that they are still alive. It's just a portrait of illusion. And Tanjiro was crying a lot, and he was saying sorry because he couldn't stay there anymore with them. But he will never forget them, and he will do the best he can to revenge them, a sort of a revenge, yes. And then he decides to walk away. I mean, he decides to run without, I wanted to underline this, without turning back. So his family is vanishing through the snow. And that's emotional, really emotional. You will cry in that moment for sure. And when he is running through the forest, he's running because now he understood that is a dream and he wants to go out from it. And suddenly, his father appears. I mean, do you remember in episode 19 when he said, Tanjiro? I mean, he said the same, Tanjiro. And I deeply love his father. I love his father's voice, his father's tender voice, kind, polite, soft voice. That voice can calm people. And the spirit of his father is always coming in the best moments. He really loved his father, I guess. I mean, I think Tanjiro was admiring his father as if he was a hero for him. So the moment he needs, the moment his consciousness feels that he is in danger and he has to find a way to go out, his father is part of his consciousness. He lives in Tanjiro somehow. Not just because of facial expressions or physical appearances, but I think deep inside there is a part of his father. Tanjiro's father is saying, look, you have to cut something. You have a katana, so you have to use it. You have to cut something. These kind of hints, right? It's like the Hinokami Kagura when he was telling him, now you're ready. Remember the Hinokami Kagura? Use it. It's a way to support your kids, even if you're not there anymore. And your kids know how you supported them in the past, so they will never forget what you did for them. So the thing Tanjiro has to do is to cut his neck in the dream. Because once he can cut his head, he can come back to reality. That's a sort of cutting Oni, right? Even when they cut Oni, they have to cut the neck, right? With the katana. So let's say that they are cutting the bad Tanjiro, or the bad Inosuke, or the bad Rengoku, whatever. They have to cut, because it's a cut between reality and the illusion. That was great. Then he does it, of course, and he can come out from the dream. It's not the only thing. Another thing is that Tanjiro can wake up from the dream and can run away from his family thanks to Nezuko. Because Nezuko, do you remember, she couldn't go under a dream because half Oni and half human. Nezuko was shaking him, please wake up, wake up. She is also hitting his face so hard. And thanks to the blood coming out when she is hitting Tanjiro's head, she is transforming this blood into the Kikijutsu. And this flame starts around Tanjiro in the dream while he is with his family. He is understanding that something is wrong, and that's why he recognized that was a dream. So it's a plus. I mean, it's his consciousness, but also Nezuko. Both of them are helping him to come out from this dream. So thank you, Nezuko, for the Kikijutsu. Thank you for all you do always. She can show her human side. I think most of the times this human side is prevailing, the Oni side. And that's why she can stay as she is, and she can't attack her brother or the others, because the human side is prevailing definitely. And here we have an example, of course. When he was surrounded by his family, and he had this feeling that Nezuko was not okay, and that this flame appeared, the flame of the Kikijutsu in the dream, it was violet. That one you saw in the trailer. Actually, I thought that was a Hinokami too, but no. I mean, it was just the Kikijutsu trying to help Tanjiro waking up. Zenitsu, for example, his dream, he is to hold Nezuko's hand and be happy, run through these peach plants full of peaches, and they are so beautiful. Do you remember? You see them even in episode 17 when Zenitsu is waking up and he's showing his super strength. And there is one moment, there is a funny moment when she said, Zenitsu, I can't swim. He's carrying her. And he says, no, please don't make that face. I'm falling in love with you more. That was great. That's Zenitsu. But when you see that this other kid is trying to scratch to go next to the second layer deep inside his heart, you see that the second layer of Zenitsu is totally black. That's great because we understand the superficial layer and the inner layer. The superficial layer is yeah, la 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 la, happiness, okay? But the second layer, his deep heart is still full of darkness. It's pitch black. I mean, you don't see anything else. You see just this kid that could enter this layer in the dream. The darkness is surrounding this kid. For Zenitsu was really, really difficult to live his life. For Zenitsu was difficult to find the people who appreciated him. He was always left alone. He was always not recognized. He was always the bibiri. I mean, the person who is always scared to take actions, etc., etc. I mean, let's say that he was bullied. He couldn't find confidence in himself. In fact, he also said, I hate myself. I forgot one thing, sorry. I forgot to tell you the second layer of Tanjiro, but in the movie it's happening a little bit later. But anyway, I prefer to tell you now. The second layer of Tanjiro, when the kid can scratch and he can go deep inside his heart in order to reach the core, in this case we see a lot of peace. We see a lot of stillness. We see lots of clouds in the sky. It's a heaven, because Tanjiro's heart, he is still. He is peaceful. He wants peace. He doesn't want evil things happening to other people. So calm, the stillness you find in this second layer of Tanjiro's heart is amazingly still. That was amazing. In fact, the kid who was surrounded by all this warm feeling, by this harmony, peace, he was astonished because he couldn't imagine that this heart of Tanjiro was so pure. And when he's reaching the core, he can't scratch it, but he doesn't even want to scratch it because he feels peaceful over there and he doesn't want to go out, actually. That's the only kid who doesn't want to go out from that second layer. And I can understand him because how they represented it, it was okay, we are in heaven, we can stay here forever, and at the core of Tanjiro's soul is it seems like a sun that is warming me and makes me feel still. So why do I have to go back? Why do I have to scratch it? Why do I have to ruin all this beauty? But in Zenitsu's case, it was pitch dark. I mean, it was total black, and I think the core was impossible to be found because there was a total darkness. That means even the core of his soul was total darkness as well. That's why I wanted to compare all these colors, all these differences between the two layers, between Rengoku, Tanjiro and Zenitsu, even Inosuke, that I'm going to analyze it right now. I mean, they are all different dimensions, all different feelings, all different approaches to different souls. So that was beautiful to see. Because even if they are different, they are all the same at the end of the day. They all want something, they all desire something, and that's what real humans do. I mean, we also desire and we also want something. We want to go back in time, we wanted to regret, we wanted to repent, we wanted to say sorry, but now we can't. We wanted to meet a cared person who died, we want him or her back, we want to love somebody. I mean, we all have desires. The last one is Inosuke's dream, and Inosuke surprised me. Because we are in a cave, as he always was. I mean, he was living in a cave and he was alone. If you remember his story, he was abandoned by his mother when he was young, and then he was living with nature. I mean, he was surrounded by animals. He became quite wild because of the context in which he lived in. But in this dream, he's not alone. He is with Tanjiro in the cave, he is with Zenitsu, and he is with Nezuko. They are all together. Inosuke changed because he showed us that now he doesn't want to be alone anymore. He wants to be with them. Even if they were a little bit transformed into animals, that was so funny. That scene was so funny. And of course, Inosuke gave a different name to Tanjiro, as always. It was good to see that Inosuke developed, and he was a little bit like Violet Evergarden. He didn't know how to feel things, but now he feels. And he was always alone, but now he prefers friends. He prefers not to stay alone and be surrounded by people who he loves. But in this case, the child who was expecting to scratch this first layer of the dream couldn't make it because she was followed by Inosuke because he found her. That dream stopped over there. I mean, she couldn't reach her goal. That means the core of his soul. Sorry, it took time a little bit, but it was good for me to explain what I felt during these dreams, because it's quite important. All these dreams represent what our protagonists want, what they want to become, what they wanted to be, and yes, also what they regret, of course, but also what they love, what they care about. This is really amazing. Fortunately, they can wake up all from these dreams, and Tanjiro is the first one to go up in the upper side of the train, on the roof of the train, and he is meeting finally lower one. And here they are starting fighting. The emotions are so stunning, I have to tell you. They are quite impressive. He understood now how to go out from the dream. This thing is always in his mind right now. So he can't fall into another dream because he is keeping in his mind, do that. If it happens, do that. But that means you can come back easily. In fact, the lower one is attacking him a lot, and he's attacking through some big eyes, big blue eyes. Sorry, once again, I make a parallelism with Naruto. When there is this scene in which lower one is attacking Tanjiro with these big blue eyes that are the same eyes he has here, it reminds me of the Mangekyo Sharingan. Why? Because throughout all these dreams, we see that unfortunately Tanjiro falls in one particular dream. And this dream is quite a horror. I mean, it's quite dark, it's quite emotional, and it's quite painful. Because in this dream, he is surrounded by his family. The colors of the setting of this dream are red and black. All his family saying, you wanted us to die, right? You are satisfied that we died, right? Why you didn't come to save us? Oh, you are a disgrace to our family. Go away and don't come back. You did something so bad to your family. You should feel guilty and stuff like that. He feels guilty, and lower one is playing with him by showing him these feelings he has. And that's why this reminded me the Mangekyo Sharingan, because if you remember, Itachi is showing Sasuke those painful moments in which he killed their parents, and the fact that he's showing him the same scenes more and more and more and more and more makes Sasuke feel so guilty and so painful. I saw the same connection, the same structure, the same things happened to Tanjiro too, thanks to this eye that is like the Mangekyo Sharingan, the eye of hypnosis or something like that. But then even Inosuke is coming. He is telling Inosuke, look, if you fall asleep, remember to cut your neck. And he's saying it before falling into a dream, so that was helpful for Inosuke too. Tanjiro is using even Hinokami, the Hinokami Kagura. Yes, he is cutting the head of a lower one, but let me tell you honestly, I thought it was too good to be true. I mean, it was too easy to defeat him. Actually, it was like this, because the demon, the Oni, was not over there only. I mean, he was not on the roof of that train. The demon is inside the train. He is a part of the train, as if he is the skeleton of the train. And in fact, Inosuke and Tanjiro are guessing, where is the core of his soul, damaged and damned soul in this case, and they understand that the core, I mean the neck, because the real core of Oni is the neck, right? They don't have a soul. And if I said it, I mean, if I said the soul, it was just for you to understand what I mean, but of course Oni, they don't have a soul. The part that is representing the neck is the part that stays next to the head. And what's the head of a train is the first car. So I went till there in order to discover where this bone of this strange neck is. Let's say that the train became like a sort of a person. So you have to imagine the train as a person. The head is the first car, and of course the last car is like our legs. Do you understand? Rengoku in the meantime is defeating all the other Oni, or all the material that the train assumed after it changed into the Oni. And let's say that when Tanjiro and Inosuke are trying to defeat lower one, they are a good team. Because even if Inosuke is saying, don't instruct me, don't tell me what I have to do, at the end of the day, he likes to take orders from Tanjiro, or he likes to be suggested by Tanjiro, but he will never admit it. After great motions, the battle was, I mean, go and watch it, because I think it will be like, okay. In the meantime, Nezuko is trying inside the train to defeat all these sort of tentacles that the lower one has right now. They are all surrounding this train, and they are attacking even common people that they are sad and they are sleeping, because they are all under this spell. They are all under these dreams. And Nezuko, while she's protecting all of them, because that's her main goal, do you remember? She has to protect the people, mankind, as if it's her own family. Suddenly she is seeing a person that resembles her younger brother. And she's stopping a little bit. She's becoming more human than Oni, because while she's trying to defeat and attack these tentacles, she is more Oni style, right? But she's becoming a little bit human, because she is seeing this boy and, oh my god, he is like my younger brother. And in that moment, the tentacles are attacking her. So she is surrounded by these tentacles and she is stopped by them. Look, guys, in that moment, do you remember, they are all dreaming, right? But Zenitsu is still sleeping, let's say, so it's a comfort zone for him. He is coming with the Kaminari no Kokyu. Zenitsu, we love you. That scene is, wow, I can't express it, because the animation was stunning. I can't say anything else. It left me speechless, yes. And even if he was sleeping, he had a thought for Nezuko. because also in his dream he is with Nezuko. Also because he has a pure heart. Zenitsu knows how to love, even if he is not loved by others. All the Rengoku Kokyu, because he has the flame no Kokyu, right? All his flame no Kokyu, oh my god, he is amazing. The style, the techniques, all the Kokyu, look, I think he used all of them, if I'm not wrong, except for the 10th. I don't remember sincerely, but I think he used almost all of them. One better than the other one, let me tell you honestly. And I really loved all the battles I saw in this movie. They are defeating this Oni, but we saw in season 1 that all the demons have a background story in which you understand their lives, what happened, what made them become Oni. We feel empathetic and we associate ourselves with one of them sometimes. It happened with Rui. It happened with the demon of the drums, right? All of them, even the spider's family. We feel sometimes as if we are one of them, or we feel sorry for them. But in this case, there was no explanation regarding this demon. We don't understand his past life. We don't understand what made him become like this. We don't understand why he chose to become Oni, but we understand that he was a sort of creator of dreams, negative dreams, because they were full of pain, full of sorrow, even if they are good, but the intention to make these dreams were negative. He failed with his dream, because his dream was to kill 250 people inside of that train. He had that occasion, but somebody stopped him. So the creator of the dream that failed his own dream, try to imagine. That's something that can't be understandable from one point of view, because if you are a creator of dream, you can also fulfill your dream. That's not true. In this case, he was defeated. So while he was disappearing, he was seeing Tanjiro and his pure heart, his pure soul, and he's saying, look, I wanted to kill at least him, because he caused the end of my dream. But of course he can't. That's the only thing I got from this demon, that is lower one. So, but all the other demons, they were more effective, in my opinion. They had a more interesting story behind, and I felt more empathetic with them. Not with this one, but it's my personal taste. Of course, that doesn't mean that he was not good or he was not well represented. Not at all. He was so scary, especially when he was repeating nen nen korori. No, 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 no. I mean, brr. Look, the voice acting of that demon was so great because it made me anxious. And he also had this mouth here. It reminded me of Deidara, sorry, or of Jujutsu Kaisen in this period. You see that Inosuke, he's so terrified because he's seeing Tanjiro that is bleeding, and he doesn't know what to do. But at the same time, he's pushing Tanjiro not to give up. Come on, resist, resist, don't die, etc., etc. And the Tanjiro, in that moment, he's suffering a lot and he's struggling a lot. He's saying, go and help others, because I can manage it. I mean, I will try to survive, but don't think about me. Think about the people over there. They need our help. And that's Tanjiro. As we always know, that's Tanjiro. Even when he was talking with the kids once they woke up from the dream, that was nice to see how Tanjiro cares about others and how his pure energy, this aura that he has around him, he is calming other people, but he is also supporting other people. Rengoku is coming and he is telling him, look, try to focus more on your body. Try to understand more your body. If you focus, you can stop that injury you have. Just think, just meditate, let's say, let's focus more. Also in this case, Inosuke was so anxious, he was so afraid that Tanjiro was about to die. And also from these feelings, you understand how Inosuke cares, how Inosuke changed throughout all this period. That was beautiful to see, because that's part of the evolution of a person, and that's what we expect from people who seem cold-hearted. And then I said, okay, now the movie is finished, because we defeated the lower one, the mission was completed, let's go home, or let's finish the movie and we give some hints for season 2. No. Not at all. Because while Rengoku is next to Tanjiro, Upper 3 comes. I didn't expect this. I think this isn't a typical movie, anime movie, because usually we have one enemy to defeat, then you defeat the enemy, and that is it. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned. No, this is atypical because after one problem, that means lower one, we have another one. I mean, we have a more important problem to solve right now because we have a Upper 3. So how can we do this? I mean, how can we defeat him? Yes, of course, we have a Hashira. I've never expected to face another enemy in the same movie. That's quite unusual to see. Akasa, this Upper 3, he is facing Rengoku and he says, oh, you are here? Look, I am a Oni. Would you like to become a Oni? You should, because if I hit you, you're going to bleed and you're going to die. Probably. But if you are an Oni, you can live forever. You can have a great long life. You can regenerate your body when you need. So you don't have problems. You don't have anything to think about. Your life is unlimited. Think about it. I mean, this is the perfect representation of the evil pact, even in literature. If you have read Oscar Wilde with the portrait of Dorian Gray, you know that the devil is asking Dorian, what do you want? And Dorian says, look, I want beauty, I want to be young forever, and I want to live my life by being so. On the contrary, I'm going to sell my soul to you. And that's what this demon, this Oni, is doing with Rengoku. He's trying to temptate Rengoku to become immortal, to become a demon with an endless life, so he doesn't need to worry anymore. He can be strong, because that's the key. Rengoku always wanted to be strong for his family, do you remember? And especially for his mother, because his mother was ill. She was about to die really soon. And before dying, she said, do you know why do you have this special talent, Rengoku? It's because you are here to save and to protect people. This is your mission. So the fact that the demon is tempting him with this is the perfect representation of the evil pact, definitely. And during their battle, this Oni is repeating this so many times, as if he is trying to go deep inside his mind and to corrupt his mind, to change his mind, because that's how all the others became Oni. They were tempted. Like Rui with Muzan. I mean, Muzan was tempting Rui. After he saw that he was ill, he said, I can corrupt him by saying that if I give him a special power, he will not be ill anymore. Do you understand? Corruption, illusion, temptation, all these things are part of the evil side of our mind, or the evil side in general. But Rengoku said something great. He said, look over there. There are people we rescue. That's my mission. And that's why I think it's so great to be human. Because of that, I have to protect other people. Common people's life is more important, especially because they can die if I'm not protecting them. That was one of the best things he said. That was memorable. I love Rengoku, and it was one of the best characters till now. I'm really happy he joined Tanjiro, because he could help Tanjiro anyway, and we will understand it at the end of the movie. But anyway, there was this main battle that, guys, look, after the lower one, this battle was definitely the best of the movie. I think lower one, yes, it was essential. It was good to discover more about their dreams, to discover their weaknesses, to discover the weak points of humans. But the second battle was definitely better, 1000% than the first one. Rengoku versus Akasa. Wow. I really loved it. And another particular thing I noticed is that when Akasa was attacking, his style, I mean his jutsu, his kikijutsu, it was like a sort of a snowflake. When you see a snowflake on the microscope, you can see all of these tiny branches of the ice forming. Why we see this? First of all, because he was attacking fire. I mean, he was attacking flame. Sorry, it's not fire, but he was attacking flame. Usually, in order to extinguish fire, you use water, you use ice. The second reason, in my opinion, is because usually the devil can be represented even with ice. I don't know if you know this, but in Dante, the Divine Comedy, when you reach Lucifer at the end of the path of the hell of this great and amazing poem, you see that Lucifer is almost surrounded by ice. He is not surrounded by flames as we all imagine. So usually we can think of hell, or we can think of the devil even when we think about ice, and not just flames. In fact, in this case, Rengoku, that is a flame Hashira, he is the good one. I mean, he's the good side. He is not hell at all. And that makes me think this. I have this second reason. I don't know if you understand or if you agree, but that's my opinion. They fight, guys. They fight a lot. And it seems endless. And my face was like, in the moment we think that Rengoku is invincible and he can make it also because the sun is rising behind him, Rengoku is attacked. And Rengoku is dying. That was not easy to watch. And before his last speech to Tanjiro, the demon, the Oni, the upper three, is running away because the sun is rising, so he's scared to be disappearing in front of it. Tanjiro, he is stopping at the beginning of the forest and he's screaming, he's launching his katana to hit him, but it's not enough. Anyway, the demon is running. The good thing Tanjiro is screaming is Rengoku didn't lose right now. Rengoku won. Because he saved all the people in the train. And we slayers are always fighting you at night. And now you are running away because that's not your context. Because the sun is rising and you are afraid. But in our case, we are always coming into your context. Always at night to defeat you. And we will do it. That was mind-blowing, I mean. I love how Tanjiro likes to protect others, and I love how he cries and he's screaming his will, and he's screaming what he thinks deliberately. I mean, without even thinking the consequences. He doesn't care. He has to say it. And I like this side of him as well. Especially when there are lots of injustices. That's great. After this, there is the saddest moment of the movie. Look, I've never expected Rengoku to die. I think we are missing one of the best Hashiras. I don't know the others. I can't judge them. Rengoku gave me lots of painful feelings when he died. He wanted to talk to Tanjiro for the last time, and he said, look, I know I'm going to die, so please, let me tell you the last things. Regarding what you told me about the Hinokami Kagura, I don't know anything about it, but in my home there are some hidden books somewhere, and probably you can find the answer over there. So I think Tanjiro is going to visit his home, and I think that when his father is going to realize that Rengoku is dead, I think he will be surrounded by lots of pain because of how he answered to Rengoku all the times, because of how he missed all the chances to have a relationship with him. He could have supported him more. He could have loved him more. He could have cared about him more. And that's the saddest thing, I think, right now. He said one beautiful last thing. That means go on pushing yourself. I believe in you. You will become strong. So don't worry about me that I'm dying, because I still believe in you. That gives me the good vibes, even if I'm dying right now. Remember that I trust you. I believe in you. So please, gambatte. Do you remember that I told you that his mother was telling him, do you remember why you have this talent. You have to protect people. So the last second before dying, while looking at Tanjiro, he saw a shadow. He saw a shadow of his mother. He's asking her, did I make a good job? Did I reach my goal? Did I do what you wanted me to do? And she made this. Yes, you did quite well. And then Rengoku died, smiling. Because I think that was the final answer he wanted. And that's why he fought throughout his entire life. He wanted to be appreciated. He wanted to be recognized. And if his father couldn't, at least his mother believed in him so much. At least to make somebody of his family happy. It was his final will. He died smiling like that. And, if I think about it again right now, I think I'm going to cry once again. So it was one of the saddest moments. The crow that was usually next to him, even the crow was crying. Do you understand? I mean, I think animals, when they get in touch with humans and they create a special relationship, they feel it. They feel it all. Then this crow flew away because it had to give this sad news to everyone. Tanjiro is still crying in front of Rengoku, and he screamed a lot, Rengoku-san, Rengoku-san, I mean, oof. But Inosuke, he is coming and he's saying, come on, let's train. Don't detach yourself from the main focus, from the main mission. We have to train right now. But while he was saying this, he was crying as well. And I think that's the first time I see Inosuke crying so hard like this. And that's a step forward for him and for his personality too. Zenitsu was speechless. And he was crying too. And do you remember that scene, the slow motion scene that I told you before? Now there was another slow motion in which all of them, they were so sad around Rengoku. These opposite scenes, they are great because at the beginning you are so happy, you're so excited, you don't care about what's next. And the other scene, you are sad, you are facing reality, more alone than before. You feel guilty because you wanted to protect Rengoku more than before. That's why I underlined that scene at the beginning, because even at the end there is this scene on the opposite side. And then at the end of the movie, we see the boss of Hashira as the beginning, so it's like a sort of a circle that is closing. He said, Rengoku did a great job because he saved all of the people, so he made it, he won. Then he said, I also don't have a lot of time to live still, so wait for me a little bit more. I think he was talking to this Hashira because he was still surrounded by all these graves. So I think at the beginning of the movie anticipated already that Rengoku was about to die. And it's like a sort of a circle that is closing this story, this movie, in the same way as it begins. As much as the scene that I told you before, in which we are all excited, happy, etc., etc. And then the conclusion is sadness and sorrow. We see these contrapositions, or we see this sort of a circle style of story that is typical in many other movies. I tell you, there was no anticipations regarding season 2, so there is no spoilers to tell you, there is nothing else to say. The movie ended like this. It ended with Homura, that is the ending of Lisa. Great job also for this song that was proper. And while there was this ending moment, there were all the pictures of Rengoku's life till the end, where we see a sword that is broken. That means he died. Yeah, that was the movie. It was quite long for me to talk like this, but I wanted to express all of my feelings. I think this movie was great. I think you should go and watch this movie. You will not be disappointed from any point of view. My vote is 10 plus because, look, I love the Ufotable animation. They are great. They create something that even your eyes can't follow properly because there's too much technique over there. They deserve my respect as an animation studio, one of the best. The last things I wanted to say regards all the protagonists. We see the kind Tanjiro, We see the Tanjiro who cares and to help others before himself. We see Tanjiro when he is angry. We see Tanjiro shouting. We see Tanjiro that he is so angry and so powerful towards Oni, especially. Sorry, I didn't tell you this, but there was the scene in which Tanjiro was fighting against Lower One, and Lower One was telling him, so should I prepare a dream in which there is also your father? And then when he said like that, Tanjiro became like a beast. I mean, he was totally the opposite from the kind of Tanjiro you know. And you will see. And he was shouting in that moment by saying, leave alone my family, don't touch my family. I loved that moment so much. I think Tanjiro is the perfect hero. Why he is perfect? Because he embodies everything. I mean, he doesn't embody just one mood. He is embodying all types of personalities, all types of reactions, all types of moods. And all these make him perfect. He is so strong when he has to be. He cares about people. He listens to other people. He listens to the past of other people and even to the pasts of Oni. And that's something other protagonists probably want. Then we have Nezuko. And Nezuko, she is beautiful. She is beautiful not just with her beautiful face, but she is beautiful in her heart. She could manage the corruption she was forced to accept, let's say. She will never be defeated by it because her heart and the power of her love for her family is stronger enough that no other demons, no other Oni can beat her. Everybody wants Nezuko. Even Inosuke, even Zenitsu, Tanjiro, of course. Everyone. And Nezuko is ready to embrace all of them with love. Even if she doesn't talk, it's enough because she can show us how she is, no matter if she talks or not. Then we have Zenitsu. In this movie, we saw, as I told you, how Zenitsu is ready to protect other people, even if he was not protected at all in his life, except for his grandpa. He is ready to donate love because he didn't receive love, and he doesn't want that other people suffer as he did. So no matter if he is funny, no matter if he is so strong to defeat other Oni to protect Nezuko or others or his friends in this case, he has so many strategies to donate his love. He can be funny because he makes other people laugh. He can overprotect other people. I mean, he has his own ways, but Zenitsu is beautiful as he is because no matter how much pain he felt throughout all his life, he prefers to love instead of hate. Because there are people who suffered like Zenitsu who are not able to donate love as much as he does. Other people would just feel pain and become bad. There are people who suffer a lot and they don't want to get in touch with other people anymore. They put lots of shields, right? But in this case, Zenitsu is the opposite. He is ready to push down all these shields and be ready to give love to all the people who are trusting him. Because that's the only thing he wants. He wants to be trusted. And if he can receive this trust, as Tanjiro did, as Inosuke did, as Nezuko did, he is ready to open his heart. Inosuke, let's say that he is improving. In this movie, he showed his Kokyu, but he didn't change a lot regarding his strength. In the meantime, he is improving his feelings. And I think these feelings will be helpful throughout the other seasons coming, because Inosuke is the perfect example of all the people who are not immediately ready to become heroes. The perfect heroes that in 1 week they are already done. No, Inosuke is the perfect example that there are people who need time. There are people who need time to improve enough, and there are people who need time to prove themselves that they are great. Nobody said how much time we need to become stronger. Everybody has its own time, and Inosuke has his own time. And it has to be respected anyway. He will become strong, in my opinion. He will surprise everybody with his techniques, not now, later. It takes time. But in the meantime, he improves feelings, and that's what he needs, because once he will realize he has to protect his friends, automatically he will become stronger it's just about time. And he already showed us this in this movie because he was protecting Tanjiro so many times during battles. He was trying to let Tanjiro not to die. And he was crying when he saw Tanjiro almost dying. So that's enough. Rengoku is one of the best characters. I think Rengoku is the main protagonist here. In fact, even the ending was full of his paintings, and even the main trailer showed that Rengoku is a pure fire, but not a dangerous fire. He is a fire of heart, a fire of soul, and even his core of this soul was so red, it was so hot that if you touched it, you could have been burned. I think Rengoku is the perfect example of a person who wants to be respected for what he is, who is struggling for what he wants to be, and who would like to have the same support that he gives you, but he can't. So instead of being angry for this, he is supporting more and more other generations coming. He is supporting more and more other young kids who want to become Hashira or who wanted to become stronger or stronger than him anyway. He is over there to support. And that's what most of the times other heroes are missing. I mean, they become heroes and they don't care anymore about the context, the surroundings. No, Rengoku became a Hashira. He became strong. But that doesn't mean he underestimates the others. He is supporting the others because if they can become stronger than him, he is just happy for this. That means he is so humble. And once again, even in this movie, even in this story, there is a protagonist who cares about his mother. In this moment, I remember Acheladdo in Vinland Saga. He also cared about his mother a lot, in my opinion. And Rengoku cared about his mother, and he wanted as much as Acheladdo to reach this goal, to make his mother happy, to reach the goal he promised to his mother, and he did it. He did it all. I think for this immense review, that is it. Hope you enjoyed, and please guys, go and watch this movie. Many people were crying in the room. In the cinema we went yesterday, Demon Slayer was seen more than 24 times, and most of the main rooms were full. Thank you so much, Ufotable. Thank you so much, Gotoge-san. Thank you, because thanks to your sensitiveness, thanks to your great story, you can inspire many people to be stronger, to be self-confident, and to be kind to other people, because with kindness, not just with physical strength, you can reach your goal. Look, Demon Slayer is not to underestimate. Many people underestimate this story. You shouldn't, because even in Demon Slayer we can find one of us, because all those protagonists are one of us. Subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell. Bye guys. See you next month with the review of the movie of Doremi. See you.